The sun is shining, but it's a little chilly here in Rhode Island.
And today we're going to do the cliff walks. We're going to walk by a bunch of Rockefeller-era mansions and check it out. There they are up on the cliffs. Here's a map of what we're doing. The different colors represent where apparently it gets more challenging. I'm not afraid at all, but we'll see. We're going to go all the way to the south end. And then maybe walk back along the cliffs or through the city. I don't know, we're undecided. But this is our activity for the day. So this is where the path turns into rocks. Doesn't look that terrible. I really approve of their footwear recommendation sign.
So this little house you could not see from the path here until we came past it and turned around, but it's so hidden and so cute and just right on the water.
As you go along the cliff walk, there are QR codes all over the place to explain who built these monstrosity mansions. This one was built by the Vanderbilts, and it's now an art museum because who needs a house that big? Like, if you have a house that's big enough to become a museum, you might have too much money. Just a thought. We made it to the end. The street side of these mansions is equally impressive. Alright, so we're in Plymouth, Massachusetts. We're going to go see Plymouth Rock, which is apparently where the first pilgrims landed. There's, all sorts of historical controversy about who got to this country first, but we're going to go see the rock, and then we're going to drive out to the Cape. It's going to be a good day. We're backtracking the Mayflower's steps. We were in Plymouth this morning, and now we're out on the Cape. It's a seal! I've only seen these things in zoos. This is so cool. So the ground here looks like it's made of rocks, but it's just super compacted sand. Never seen anything like it. It's really cool. Alright, so I'm a history nerd. That's been clearly established. And behind me, this little unassuming shack used to be the end of a transatlantic telegraph cable that ran from France to Cape Cod. It was the first one of its kind and allowed the United States to communicate with Europe within minutes for the first time ever. And now it just sits here in the national park. I think there are tools in it. So there's not as much lobster on this one as Red's Eats, but The bread does look better, but we think that the butter really is what makes it, so we'll have to taste it to find out what's the better lobster roll.
All right, so we drove all the way out to Race Point on the Cape. So we came to see the Cape Cod Light, and we pulled in, and the entire lighthouse is covered in scaffolding. Doesn't make for a great picture.
So the little dot, the little monument in the distance is in Provincetown. And then we're over here halfway, a quarter of the way maybe, along Cape Cod, heading back down to the bottom. Hey yo, who thinks this is a river? It's definitely not. It's the Cape Cod Canal, and the tide rushing through the canal makes it flow like a really fast moving river. It's pretty neat. And there's a train bridge. We're breaking some van life taboos and turn left. Going into a city. Not a lot of van lifers go for things like this. We found a good lot in Boston. We're hoping to stay in for 2 days so we can see our friend's band and explore the city.
Person came in real fast.
So we got this lot right kind of in downtown Boston. It's supposed to be $5 a day on the weekends. So $10 a rent doesn't sound too bad. I think they're reenacting the Tea Party. They're on ropes. They're gonna pull them back up. This is hilarious.
Alrighty, we're at Harpoon Brewery and we're gonna take a tour.
So we're here in Boston, gonna go hike the Freedom Trail today and then see our friend's band, the Happy Fits. But very excited that this spot worked out last night. I've never seen this before. Boston doesn't build telephone poles in their parks. They just use the trees. I mean, good on you, I guess. Starting our morning with the Black Heritage Trail, and then we're gonna do the Freedom Trail. So we're walking through little alleys, following the Black History Trail, and this seems like it's at this point in time the most desirable area of Boston to live in, but it is also one of the oldest and least messed with. Like, a lot of the buildings are the same, it has some of the richest immigrant history, and it's funny that now all the rich white people want to live here, because I guess they just ruined the rest of the city for everyone else. This guy accomplished a lot, you know, considering that he had no rights. Beacon Hill has some really neat cultural history. This is the last surviving synagogue of a really large Jewish community that used to reside in this town. And down the street, we're gonna go to an abolitionist house. It seems like a lot of the financial backing and organization of the Underground Railroad happened in Beacon Hill, which is really cool. Old Georgie Wooden Teeth. The bricks mark the Freedom Trail.
Is that all you got, Boston? I need more to make this moment go. I can't stop. Thank you so much, Boston. We love you. I can't wait to be back. Have a good night. Stay safe.
Alrighty, so we thought the subway ran all night in Boston. We were very, very wrong. It's 1 a.m. and there are no subways running. So now we're calling an Uber.
And the truck is parked like all
3 miles
the way
away.
across town. So
Like an hour drive,
and
hour
I can't
walk.
stop hiccuping, so it's a whole yikes.
So yesterday we were walking the Freedom Trail and I bought this guide. And when we were walking around the Boston Commons, I saw this blue line. And I was kind of curious what it was, and of course we had to follow it. So we're walking around and we discovered it was the African Heritage Trail. And there's some insanely interesting abolitionist history that started right here at Beacon Hill in Boston. And I consider myself a history nerd and I had no idea about any of it, so I really think they should promote that more. Kind of the beginnings of the abolitionist movement in America and funding and kind of the putting together the Underground Railroad happened here. So they should talk about that more. So you can see our alarm clock in the background.
We had a very nice awakening by them at about 7 a.m. when they started. But now we're going to go explore Salem, Massachusetts.
62 makes this house how old? Math.
260?
Yeah. 260 years, about? Yikes. It looks in very nice condition. So apparently these raised tombs are very European, and this is considered one of the oldest European-style graveyards in America, and it just makes me think about how short people were, because I could not fit in these. Sam couldn't fit in these. I guess people have just gotten taller over time, because this is the oldest cemetery in Salem. It has the memorial to the people who were killed in the Salem witch trials, and the captain of the Mayflower is buried here too, which is pretty nuts. Good morning. We're sitting here by the water enjoying our breakfast. We're gonna head into Mystic today, check out the Seaport, and I was told that I have to try the clam chowder, so we're gonna do that as well. That's the plan for the day. So the shore over here is Connecticut. That island out there is Fisher Island, which is actually a part of New York State. If you look behind the breakwater, you can kind of see some stuff popping up. 18 miles out there is the end of Long Island, which is Montauk Point. And if you come this way, that sandy beach over there is Rhode Island. So from this point in Connecticut, you can see into 3 states. Duck butts. So this is Mystic Seaport, the historic museum area, and it's closed during the week for the winter. And I think there's like a film crew filming a movie or something, because we kind of snuck in the back, and then there were cameras and actors and all sorts of stuff. So we decided that we should probably not be there. And we're gonna go downtown now.
So this is where we were suggested to go for lunch for Jacob to get a clam chowder, but it's really not our style.
Look how fancy those people are dressed. It's a little hoity-toity for us. A brew pub is much more our speed. I already ate most of mine.
I hope you enjoyed this week as much as we did. Living nomadically this summer has been a blessing to us. We are just dipping our toes into van life, and our adventures this summer have been an amazing tutorial. Stay tuned next week for one more vlog and a big announcement about our plans over the next month. Thanks for the support, and remember to get outside and do something exciting.